Do you want to become a successful trader on Betfair? Well, I'm guessing most of you watching this do. So we're going to go through 5 ways to become a successful Betfair trader. Let's just get into it. Okay, so number 1, straight off the bat, really easy, start taking it more seriously. See, a lot of people who trade on Betfair, they start out because they just want to have a laugh. They want to have some fun. It's a bit of a hobby. They just want to make some money trading on Betfair. They're not really interested in taking it too seriously. There's one phrase I really want to stick with you, okay, from this video. If there's one thing that you take away, please let it be this. This is what I say about Betfair trading all the time, and this will help you take it more seriously. If you start to treat Betfair trading like a job, it will start to pay you like one. I'll say that again, and I'm sure I'll get it up on the screen in editing. If you start to treat Betfair trading like a job, it will start to pay you like one. See, it's really important to take these things seriously. If you're someone who goes, yeah, I want to be a Betfair trader, and all you do is go to your computer and start watching the latest videos, the latest videos on YouTube about, Kim Kardashian or something, right? Any kind of rabbit hole you can end up down, that's not going to help you, right? You need to start taking it seriously. Imagine you're at work. Imagine you were trying to qualify for a job. What would you do? What kind of training would you do? Well, this is the kind of thing you want to be thinking about. Now, you might say, Martin, give me some examples. Don't worry, we're going to go through some of this stuff, and I'm going to give you some really practical ways you can do this. By the way, one of the things you've done that's brilliant is watch this video. These types of training videos will help you hugely, so well done. That is the first step. Please make sure that the rest of your actions follow suit, and you're not just watching videos and not actually doing anything else to take it seriously. Okay, number 2, stop guessing and use logic. Okay, so one of the big problems with Betfair traders is that they start from a gambling background, and they start from a traditional bookmaker background where they might have gone into Betfred when they were young, or they might have, put a tenner on a horse because they liked the sound of it, or they had a Grand National sweepstake. So to them, betting is not about trying to find value. It's not about working out where the edge is. It's more just about, well, this is a hobby. Let's have some fun. Hey, I like the look of that horse. I think it's going to win, so I'll place a bet on it. Things like that aren't actually going to make you any money. And the amount of times someone's told me, oh, I had a dream it was going to be this score, or I had a dream about the Norwich match last night, I think it's going to be this score. It hardly ever happens that it turns out to be true. Okay, when you're betting with just gut instinct, not using logic, and you're just betting for fun, it's a problem if you're trying to make money. Now, this is a hobby for a lot of people. That's fine, and I agree. You should enjoy what you're doing. I know plenty of really successful Betfair traders who have a little side pot that they just mess about with. Okay, that's fine. But what I'm talking about here is for the bulk of your main betting, I want you to start using logic. I want you to start working out where the edge is and why there's an edge, why this selection you have chosen is a value selection. Remember, I say this in so many of my videos, but value is king. Too often people overlook that fact and they just bet on what they think will happen rather than what is the best value price. But at the end of the day, like I say, if you go into Tesco's and you fancy a tomato that day, and you go there and tomatoes are 20 quid, are you going to buy it just because you want a tomato? Probably not, right? The reality is that it should be less than a quid, and therefore you are getting terrible value. Well, the same applies to, let's say, Man City, if they're playing the Premier League this weekend, and you go, I think they're going to win, and you go and look on Betfair and their odds are 1.17. Is that value? Of course not. But the thing in your head will tell you, yeah, but they're going to win. The thing is, you've got to look for value when you're trading and betting. And again, I'm going to get in some practical ways to do this in the next few, so don't worry. If you are enjoying this video, we have a free gift for you, absolutely free. All you need to do in the comments is say the word Super Trader, and we will send that over to you, and that will help you with your Betfair trading training. Okay, guys, back to the video. Number 3, really important, and you're already taking a great step in this way. Do some training, okay? Too many Betfair traders nowadays just don't want to have to do training. They think they can just rock up, hey, I'll put 5 grand into Betfair, I've got a 5 grand spare, let's go. I'm going to place some bets, I'm going to make some money, because money makes money, right? So I can make money, don't worry about that. I don't need the training, I don't need to put some work in, I don't even need to bother to watch your whole video, Martin. I'll just watch the first couple of minutes and then I'll sack it off because I think I've got the gist. This is a problem, right? I think a lot of Betfair traders are lazy. Hey, I'm going to say it, right? And you know, one of the things that I can say for certain is that the people who do well are the people that do training. Now, I did say I was going to give you some practical examples. So I'm going to move over to the Betfair Trading Community Forum. Now, this is members only, but you guys can all have access to this for the monthly price we charge, which isn't huge. And if you look here, I've actually got masterclass lessons for you. I've literally got training lessons for you. And I'll show you an example of one of these right now, where you can actually just see pure video. Literally, we go through slideshow, presentation. It's really good training, okay? It's a bit like YouTube, but probably the step up, okay? And this is something I wanted to do because I really wanted to plug in with you and go, I want to give you some practical training. It almost is a bit like a university lecture type thing, and that's kind of the way I see this. We are Betfair Trading University in a sense, so what I want you guys to do is come and do some training. Now you might say to me, well, Martin, of course you're going to say that. You run Betfair Trading Community. Okay, cool. If you want to try other training, go ahead and do so. I know what works, and I know that we work, and I know that a lot of others don't, but you can give that a go. And if you find something you think's better, that's great. Go and do that. But please do training. The worst thing you can do is do nothing at all, and that will just leave you behind the rest. And the reality is, when you're trading on Betfair, we're trying to beat the market, right? We're trying to beat people, so we don't want to get left behind. Number 4, use some software. Use some trading software, okay? You're going to get left behind the serious punters if you don't use trading software. And again, you might say, well, Martin, I want some practical examples. I want some practical advice, okay? The first bit of advice I give you is think of how much of an advantage you have when you use software. And I'll show you right now. Let's go over to our horse racing software. Instantly, you look at this page, you're already getting information that other traders won't get. Let's say you go over to the race list. You are going to get information that's not available everywhere else. Again, you're going to get this info. You go and look at the runner list. I mean, this is literally the click of a button stuff, right? Look how much info you are getting here. And some of these stats are even ones that Adam has created himself, that he's found work well with the horses. Now, the thing is, stuff like this, being able to create your own strategy, which is what we do at Betfair Trading Community. So here's the strategy builder, as you can see. And I'll just pick one of my strategies here and show you that how it's being created. Now, this is the point, right? You use something like this. You create your strategy. You get your selections every day. So again, I'll show you how that's done quickly. If you click Daily Qualifiers List, and that comes up with all my strategies and the horses selected for them. Okay, now obviously there's a lot because I've got a lot of strategies. But the point is this. Think of the disadvantage I'd have if I didn't have this. Imagine me trying to do this manually, how many hours that would take per day. You wouldn't do it. Even if you're like, oh, I'm the sort of person I don't mind spending, you wouldn't do it. You'd stop doing it after a while. Same with football. Just look at this. This is just the homepage of the football. Let's go through the filters. See, I don't know if we'll have many selections today because the season hasn't started yet at the time of recording this. Let's see if there's anything that's got a selection today. Doesn't look like it. Here we go. Over 3.5 goal days. Cool. Okay. So again, I've got the information on the match here. I can go and have a look at the home and the away. I can look at the percentages. I can look at the overall head-to-head. Half-time scores, full-time scores, overs, unders, right? So not only am I getting a selection which fits my strategy, and again, I'll show you like how you can create a strategy here. You can see how I've created it. Not only have I got selection that tells me this actually fits your criteria, but I can then further delve into it, which is something we strongly recommend. And I can go, okay, what does make this a good selection? Is this one I want to put my money on? And again, just these simple things, and these aren't tutorials on this, we've got loads of those. But the reality is, my point I'm trying to make here is that without software, you are going to be left behind big time, okay? And virtually every successful trader I know uses software. There's one or two that don't, But bear in mind, I've been trading 10 years. At most, there's a handful that don't. I've known thousands of traders. So you're talking about a really minute minority, and it might work for them. It probably won't work for you. The reality is that software will give you a chance of having an edge on the market compared to people who don't use it. And that's just a fact, okay? And again, you might say, Martin, but you're from Betfair Trading community. Of course you're going to say, go to this software. Go have a look at the other softwares. See what works for you. Okay. What usually happens when I say that is people end up at Betfair Trading community again, even if it's not straight away. They might even try some of the really cheap alternatives, find out that they're not actually any good, and then they come back to us, which is what happens quite a lot of the time. Okay. So use software. I don't care which one you use. I really just want you to be making sure you're getting ahead of the market. Number 5, and this is the final point. I'm not going to labor this video. It's already been quite a long one. Practice and evaluate your performance. Okay, a couple of ways you can do that. So one of the ways you can do that is testing. So I'll bring up one of my testing sheets. And the good thing with testing is that, as you can see here, you can record data, you can put in the results, profit and loss, ROI, whatever you want to track, you can track. Okay, and you can work out, does this strategy work for me? Is this a good strategy? And obviously you'll have different sheets. So for example, this one has made a profit. This is a 2.0 version of this strategy, which has made a loss. So actually by testing, I've been able to filter out which data works and which doesn't. And then I've started testing again on a 2.0 version, not using the data from 1.0. Okay, I haven't backfitted all those results. This is just forward testing to see if it does actually work going forward. Now, again, this isn't a tutorial on testing or anything like that. I'm not trying to explain that to you now. That would be a whole separate video. My point is that if you practice and evaluate your performance, you can actually improve. And, you'll have an original strategy. You might tweak it and make an amazing strategy, okay? But if you don't practice it, if you don't evaluate it, if you don't see what's working and what's not, you're not going to be able to do that. Now, you might say, I don't use spreadsheets. I'm not really sure. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to use a spreadsheet. You could just use a pen and paper. Even if you go, all I want to do is in-play trading, great. Track it. Write down your result that night. What happened? Why did you enter? Did it win? No. Is there a pattern here? Is there something you can change that will make it work? Work that stuff out. Start to think about yourself openly and honestly. Look, we're not perfect traders. None of us are perfect traders. No one ever really claims to be. Anyone who does, I actually quite like it when someone does, because if someone ever says they're the perfect trader or an absolutely brilliant trader, I can pretty much always say without fail, they're talking nonsense. So you just put them to the side and go, great, okay, let's go and work with the real people. And that's what Betfair Trading community has always been about. That's what we will always be about. Be prepared to practice and evaluate yourself. And if you want us to help you with that, we can. If you want us to say, hey, Martin, and people do this all the time, they'll message me and say, Martin, here's what I've been doing. Here's my spreadsheet. What do you think I could do? Where could I help? And Ryan actually did a whole video, ChatGPT one, that actually came out of someone asking a similar question. And he quickly found something that really worked well with their strategy and created a really good strategy from that. So that's one of the things you can do. You'd be surprised at what avenues you can go down just by actually working with people, working with yourself, actually evaluating yourself honestly, and not being afraid to say, hey, I had a bad day or I didn't perform well. Look, every trade I make is not amazing. I quite often have made bad trades. Even in the past year, I've made trades where I'm kicking myself afterwards, not because of the result, but because it wasn't a great trade and it was just a mistake that I made. And that will happen, okay? But it's important we evaluate it, and it's important we don't keep repeating those things over and over. The reality is that when I first started out, I was making mistakes on a daily basis. Nowadays, I remember them because it tends to only happen once every month or 2 months, okay? That's why they stick more in the mind. Now, this is really important, okay? So let's go through. I'm going to go through the 5 together. I know it's been a bit of a longer video than usual, but I apologize for that. But it's really important, right? If you want to be a successful Betfair trader, you need to get plugged into this stuff. Okay, number 1, start taking it more seriously. Number 2, stop guessing and use logic. Number 3, do some training. Number 4, use trading software. And number 5, practice and evaluate your trading. Okay, guys, I hope that's really helped you with your trading. If you've enjoyed this video, why don't you say the words trader, and that will let me know that you want to be a successful trader and that you want more content like this. I hope this has helped you, and I really, really do wish you luck in your trading journey. If you ever want to chat to me, I'm always here. Again, you can comment on the videos on YouTube, really easy way to contact me, or you can fire us over an email. Okay, I'll put some info in the description if you want to get hold of us as well, and check out what it is we do. All right, everyone, have a great week. But most importantly of all, I hope you make some money trading on Betfair.